This week is a little bit quieter, but we've still got a sneaky storm that's going to ride over an area of drier air and head to the east coast, but we've got the potential for more trouble down the line with a bigger storm system as we head towards the end of October. Let's track all of those patterns right here in this video. Go ahead and like, subscribe.
One Nation Weather.
Alright, here's a look at your evening satellite as I'm filming this for your October 16th. You can see not a whole lot going on, especially over central parts of the country, but we do have an area of low pressure that's been sitting right around the east coast here, and it continues to swirl some of the northerly chill around in that area. And then we've also got the system along the west coast over here, and it's going to be riding over this area of high pressure that you're seeing on your screen right now. And you can see how that low pressure system is definitely the strongest one on the map. Again, it's eventually about to ride on over and head into the Midwest, but do not worry, this is not a very potent storm. But nonetheless, let's talk about how this is going to impact your storm track and pattern as we head through your October 22nd. We've got the high pressure over many parts of the southwest and the central part of the country. This system is going to be riding over that while actually weakening as it pushes towards the Great Lakes. Nonetheless, an attached cold front will help to develop some new areas of spin right around the southeast coastline. Those will move northward, and that's where the best chance of rain will come later this week. By the way, go ahead and like and subscribe, as well as comment down below if you have any questions there. Now, in terms of this week's storm timing, again, this system that's the low pressure out in the portions of the Pacific Northwest, it really weakens pretty much immediately after it makes it on land. There's barely anything that you can see of it as we go into as early as Tuesday morning, so just 12 hours after I'm filming this. Nonetheless, the high pressure ridge is going to help to move this over. It's going to get enough energy to produce some stuff along the East Coast, so we have to talk about it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a perfect, picture-perfect week for everyone here, though the fall foliage is moving southward and looking quite nice out there now. Again, we've got this area here just north of the ridges, and it's really going to continue to be spouting these storms. This other little piece of energy here that's going to mainly move through southern Canada back behind it as we go in towards our Wednesday, that will also eventually come close enough to this other low pressure system to where we could see a little bit of interaction there as this storm pushes east, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. But for now, just a very weak low pressure system as we go in towards our early Thursday morning over the Midwest. Not really expecting any thunderstorms over that area I circled, just some light to moderate rain at best, which is good news there, though it's not really going to equate to much for those of you who are in drought-stricken areas. As we go in towards our Thursday afternoon, again, the low-pressure system still sitting here, 1,000 millibar low. It's just not working with a lot of moisture. It's behind what was a really potent cold front over the weekend. Eventually, though, we see this system kind of detach itself from the front, and what's left of that front is over portions of the southeast. It gets to combine with some of this moisture that's lingering off the southeast coast. Eventually, when those move northward and kind of get near each other and close enough to each other to merge, that's where we could at least watch out for some of the heavier rain totals to move up the mid-Atlantic coastline and in towards the northeast. By the way, you can also see that 993 millibar low that the Euro is depicting there, moving through southern Canada. That's eventually going to catch up. Scattered showers on Friday for portions of the southeast, and then notice here how that little area of low pressure looks like it's going to be moving offshore as we go towards our Saturday, but that doesn't mean things are done yet. We've got what's left of that low pressure system now over portions of Atlantic Canada. Eventually here, we're going to see the other one catch up. Once this all gets together, everything's going to get kind of combined into one, which is why it's going to be a little bit messy in the northeast as we head towards this weekend. Look at how everything rides up the coastline, and the further west we see everything develop, the more the northeast will be impacted by this. But right now, it looks like mainly the coastline's getting skirted by this in the worst case scenario. And even that doesn't look to be the heaviest of rain. Some wraparound showers, maybe a snow mix in at times on the back end of that. But overall, just looking like some light rain to linger around behind it. Now, in your upper level patterns, this is 300 millibar wind. This is well above our heads, 30,000+ feet for us here. We're looking at this system pushing out of the Pacific Northwest. It's going to move over the high pressure ridge. You can see the way everything moves on down once it gets past the Four Corners region, and that this dip is going to do just that. Now, this looks like a very potent piece of energy, don't get me wrong. This really is not. This is looking at upper level wind energy. This is just really looking at the jet stream, not any sort of low level storms. This is just the dip of energy that's really going to be here to provide just enough to kick stuff off as we go later this week. Notice how we get a little front of it, on the front fringe of this here. We get a little bit of energy to move northward there. That pushes on into portions of Maine as we head towards our Saturday, and that, again, that's really what we're looking for, that mess to really just get going there. In terms of the chance for at least 1 inch of rain as we go through your October 22nd, I think that chance is quite high here over portions of the Northeast, especially from New York over into Maine. Of course, that's after this produces about an inch of rain as well over portions of Washington. Most areas that are impacted by this system, though, from portions of the Midwest down to the Southeast, unless you're right along the Appalachian mountains, overall it's looking like this is going to be a half an inch event, maybe even lower for some communities. So again, here's a look at what's going on. Again, the low pressure system is riding over the high pressure system. We're going to see a little bit of a cold front develop. Low pressures spark on the front end of that cold front, combined together into one in the Northeast. So it's really easy to grasp if you think of it like that. Your temperature trends over the next 10 days. Let's play this out because this is actually going to hint at our next storm system for, say the 10 to 14 day range. Of course, we don't want to get into too much detail about that, but nonetheless, anyway, we've got this warmth in terms of compared to average building back on over portions of the central part of the country by about 10 to 20 degrees as we head towards our Tuesday into our Wednesday beyond. Keeping it cooler than average along the southeast coast as we've still got the reinforcements of the northerly winds there. Eventually, though, some of this warmth pushes eastward while degrading a bit, but notice how most of the warmer temperatures stay confined to the west coast at this time. And then again, with that low pressure system, most areas behind it are still going to be above average. So this is, again, this proves how weak this is. This isn't really even a potent enough cold front to cool the temperatures down much. And really, these areas in the southeast that still have the lingering cool air are going to be the ones that stay cooler beyond that system. So that's what's really interesting here. That just proves to you right there how weak this low pressure system is and why it needs that support as we head towards the weekend. Temperatures above average across the northeast and across the western half of the country as we head towards our Friday. And that persists as we go in towards our Saturday. Overall, though, most of the country is going to be warmer than average as we head into the weekend. Look at this. Some of these spots 10 to 20 degrees above average into portions of northern Texas, portions of southwestern Oklahoma, and then another area, that secondary area that the Euro is hinting at there into portions of the Mountain West. And this remains as we head towards our early next week. But notice some of these bluer shades that start to fill in from the west. This shows the eating away at some of this warmer air. You see some of it kind of move on off towards the northeast. This is what normally looks to happen when we get a pretty potent system to get fired up. The GFS is really gung-ho on this system. The Euro at least hinting at something there, moving out of the Pacific Northwest. I would watch for this as we head towards, say, the last 8 days of October, because if that turns into a cross-country storm, we could definitely see maybe some severe weather fire up on this. But overall, we're looking at an Omega block-like pattern for us here, with the cooler air, or at least average air on both sides of this, warmer air there in the central part of the country as we head towards, say, Thursday, October 26th. So we're really looking at 10 days out now. But this is what the Climate Prediction Center is hinting at. Temperatures a good bit above average here over the south central and even on up into the upper Midwest during that time frame as we head towards next week. Cooler than average on both coastline by just a little bit, but this is what really catches my eye for a storm system. Notice how all the precipitation's filling in the mountain west and really the western half of the country. That indicates to me that we could see a new storm system developing with southerly flow to tap into with the warmth. I'd be monitoring the chance for some severe weather and a very potent fall cold front as we finish off October. But for now, if you want to get those updates when severe weather happens, go check out my extra channel. It's 1 Minute Weather. Of course, you can subscribe here and there for all the videos and then the short updates when it comes time, using that AI voice so I can spit them out just when you need the forecasts. Thank you so much for watching. Here's the credits. Have a great day, everyone.